There's then the point which I think is more interesting, which is how do we push the boundaries more? The first thing to say is that we seek to be very progressive when it comes to the overall sustainability of our portfolio. So we have got, like many others, we have got net zero targets, which we are absolutely committed to. We're also, as a house, very focused on stewardship. So where the wider Legal & General firm has got votes where it is investing in equities, we take that role really, really seriously. So there's the bit about making sure that within the assets that we choose to invest in, we are progressive, sustainable, we've got minimum standards. There's then the point which I think is more interesting, which is how do we push the boundaries more? How do we make sure that we continue to open new markets? And so I gave the example of affordable housing previously. That was previously the remit of the not-for-profit sector. We created a for-profit venture so that we could build more affordable homes. But you also mentioned emerging markets. One of the challenges with emerging markets is that typically even the debt there can be sub-investment grade, which doesn't necessarily work for the UK regulatory regime. So we're looking at new innovative ways to tackle that market. We did we invested in an asset earlier on this year with Togo, which was wrapped by the African Development Bank. I'm really passionate about that sort of investment where we work with another partner organisation to provide really good financing where it is needed, but also working within the UK regulatory regime. And so if you take that then a bit closer to home, and you mentioned natural capital, I think that's where we can make a really big difference, because at the moment natural capital is something that we would love to invest in, but because it's a very nascent investment class, then it doesn't fit that well with highly predictable cash flows that we need to be able to back our liabilities. So this is where partnering with other organisations to be able to create more fixed cash flows, I think, is really important, so that we can unlock what is undoubtedly a really critical sector and something where we ought to very naturally play.